Tensions and divisions in the royal family over Meghan's strained relationship with her father were revealed as messages she sent to aid that he saved under Tilly are released by court. The Duchess of Sussex texted a former aide that Harry faced constant berating from the royal family over her strained relationship with her estranged father Thomas. Messages released today, which he saved under the name Tilly, have shown. Meghan, 40, sued Associated Newspapers Limited, ANL, the publisher of the Mail on Sunday and Mail Online, over 5 articles that reproduced parts of a personal and private letter to Mr. Markle, 77. ANL has brought an appeal against a High Court judge's decision to grant Meghan summary judgment, meaning she won her case without a trial. During the hearing this week, ANL's lawyers told senior judges they want to rely on new evidence from Jason Knauf, former communications secretary to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, who claimed that the Duchess wrote the letter with the understanding that it could be leaked. One exchange from August 2018 showed Meghan discussing her drafting of the letter with Mr. Knauf. She wrote, "The catalyst for my doing this is seeing how much pain this is causing H. Even after a week with his dad and endlessly explaining the situation, his family seem to forget the context, and revert to can't she just go and see him and make this stop? They fundamentally don't understand, so at least by writing H will be able to say to his family, she wrote him a letter and he's still doing it. By taking this form of action I protect my husband from this constant berating and, while unlikely, perhaps it will give my father a moment to pause." It is the latest revelation of negation trouble between the Sussexes and Charles. During their television interview with Oprah Winfrey Negation earlier this year, Harry said he felt let down by his father. He said Charles stopped taking his calls as he and Meghan attempted to map out a future role in the monarchy in late 2019. Harry told Oprah, "But at the same time, I will always love him. But there's a lot of hurt that's happened and I will continue to make it one of my priorities to try and heal that relationship." Faced with pressure from the royals to heal her rift with her father, Meghan argued it was impractical for her to travel to Mexico and see him at his home as it was likely the media would find out and heap more embarrassment on the royal family. The messages were released by lawyers yesterday after a 3-day court hearing earlier this week. They provide further evidence that Meghan and Mr. Knauf were thinking about the public reading her letter to him, even though she has since complained that a newspaper that published the private letter breached her privacy and copyright. She told him she had drafted everything with the understanding that it could be leaked, so was meticulous in her choice of words, using the word daddy, which, if it was leaked, would pull at the heartstrings. Mr. Knauf texted back, "The draft letter is very strong, enough emotion to be authentic, but all in resigned sadness rather than anger." He suggested there were a few tweaks to the order of events that she had set out that could be a bit stronger. "I think it's slightly even worse than you remember." But he added, "The only thing I think is essential to address in some way is the heart attack. That is his best opening for criticism and sympathy. The truth is you tried desperately to find out about the medical treatment he said he was receiving and he stopped communicating with you. You begged him to accept help to drive him to the hospital, and instead of speaking to you to arrange this he stopped answering his phone and only spoke to TMZ." And as the letter was completed she texted, "Honestly Jason, I feel fantastic, cathartic and real and honest and factual, and if he leaks it then that's on his conscience and then at least the world will know the truth. Words I could never voice, publicly." After extracts of texts and emails between the Duchess and Mr. Knauf were used in court, further texts were made public on Friday following an application by the PA news agency and The Times. Meghan previously told the Court of Appeal that the main purpose of the letter was to encourage my father to stop talking to the press after public criticism and a media onslaught surrounding Mr. Markle. It was only when my father began criticizing the royal family that senior members of the family and their advisors expressed their concern over the public attacks, and expressed their desire to have them stopped, she wrote in her evidence. In the newly released text messages, sent to Mr. Knauf while she was drafting the handwritten letter, the Duchess can be seen expressing her frustration about the response of the royal family. She wrote, "The catalyst for my doing this is seeing how much pain this is causing H. Even after a week with his dad and endlessly explaining the situation, his family seem to forget the context, and revert to can't she just go and see him and make this stop? They fundamentally don't understand, so at least by writing H will be able to say to his family she wrote him a letter and he's still doing it. By taking this form of action I protect my husband from this constant berating and while unlikely perhaps it will give my father a moment to pause." During Harry and Meghan's interview with Oprah Winfrey earlier this year, the couple laid bare their troubled relationship with the monarchy, and the Duke revealed he felt let down by the Prince of Wales. He said his father stopped taking his calls as he attempted to map out his future role in the monarchy in late 2019, when the Duchess was under intense pressure. Harry told Winfrey, "But at the same time, I will always love him, but there's a lot of hurt that's happened and I will continue to make it one of my priorities to try and heal that relationship." During the Court of Appeal hearing, ANL's lawyers argued that an article in People magazine in the US, which featured an interview with 5 friends of Meghan, misrepresented the letter and made nasty allegations about Mr. Markle.